Finally! Hello again, YouTube! This is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor commentary episode. This is where I just create your favorite characters from TV shows, games, movies, and I create it here in Scribblenauts Unlimited in the Object Editor, which is only on the Wii U and PC versions of this game. We're going to start off with one of the 5th Cell members. His name is John Woff, I believe is how you pronounce that last name. We took off the arms and the legs and the head right here. You can see the grids that where they were, I guess, the green grids that showed them. We're going to be using those green grids later on. But here we're going to start off with Gabriel Leon, and we're going to take the torso of Gabriel and shrink down that John torso a little bit. The main reason that I didn't start off with Gabriel as the source object here, but put his torso over John Woff's torso, is because Gabriel Leon is a little kid, and so we want the legs to basically not sink into the ground after we take them off. The shorter that the original legs are, the more likely if you're kind of going over those legs with your character like I'm about to, then it will sink into the ground or look like it's sinking into the ground. And so we've got a golden egg, which is going to be the tummy here. We're creating Springtrap right now from FNaF World. This is Adventure Springtrap because today is finally the FNaF World Springs and Traps special episode. And so I've got a Minotaur right now. I'm going to take the back thigh of that because we just put down Dimetrodon, the front legs, the kind of upper leg piece, I guess you could almost call it a thigh, of that Dimetrodon. And I did put a ball also down on that golden egg from earlier on the chest. That ball, of course, to be a button. And we took Golem right now and take the thigh piece, the upper leg part of the Golem in the back, and also the back shoulder piece of the Golem. And so now we've got a ghoul, and of course that's going to ask for the monster or the fish. We go with the fish right here and take that fin that's kind of there near the ghoul's head. It's that side fin. It's got this unique shape and everything. I think it's really good for the feet of the FNaF World characters, many of them, and so Springtrap is no exception here, the adventure version. And so we've got 2 layers, so in essence it's one that kind of has the color tone that Springtrap is mostly, but then we've got that lighter yellow piece that we also did for the golden egg stomach right there. That's the bottom little ghoul fin on the feet. And so for the hands, we're gonna go with sticky hand both times. Looking good here. So then just some micro adjustments as we've got most of the body done right here, except for now we're gonna also add in all the withering and stuff, because Springtrap is not in pristine condition or anything like that. So to start it off, let's go with a silver sword, and we can take that, all one word, and put it right here on the front arm. That's to our left, of course, but it's Springtrap's right arm. And so I'm going to go with a bodybuilder, taking the back arm of that, and the bodybuilder's back arm kind of looks wavy and like a little withering right here if we put it up at the top near his shoulder on this front arm. And so then we're going to go with moss. I'll be using this stamp a little bit later on too, as well as some of the other stamps, I guess. And that's gonna be another wither section, kind of a cut out of the arm there on the back arm, basically, near the shoulder, I guess, bicep. And so then we've got a tornado, and there's this little piece that has like a protrusion on the end of it and everything. We can put that down at the leg and go with a death worm, the very back tail piece of that death worm. That is a good stamp right here for some more withering there on the back thigh of Springtrap. And so we'll go back to the tornado. You could see that that piece that we used previously was kind of on the right side, to our right, of course. Now, kind of on the left side, we're going to grab this other stamp from the tornado right here, put it on his front thigh, and then I'll go with a Joey because that's a little baby kangaroo, and we can take its back arm to basically be a little wire sticking out of that tornado piece that we just put in. And so that's all looking good. And so now we're going to reach the stamp limit with this last stamp right here. This game, although called Scribblenauts Unlimited, it does actually have a limit to how many stamps you can use. Got him! So a stamp, of course, is anything we've placed down, like the tornado pieces, or the ghoul fins, the golem pieces, all of that stuff, they're each a stamp. So this is all looking good. I think we've got a good model for our Springtrap body right now, and since I did just mention the stamp space, one thing you can do, you notice we didn't create the head yet. We're going to start off with the head as the source object, and now create the head separately of Springtrap right here. Adventure Springtrap, of course. I went with a bodybuilder back arm once again after painting that head the color right here. But yes, with that stamp space limitation, you can kind of get a workaround and get some more stamp space if you create the head and the body separately. So I'll show you how to attach the two a little bit later on all throughout this episode. We're going to type in moss once again. We used that before, but now we're going to use it with a different purpose. I'll put it right here kind of over the eyes or just under, and I'm going to go with an octopus, and we'll grab the tentacle that is right next to the head on the right side, so it's kind of close by to the octopus's head and body and stuff, and we're actually going to use it twice. So one kind of goes this way, and then we can turn the other one around and make it smaller, paint it almost like a yellowy white for his teeth, so that all that octopus stuff is going to be the bottom jaw and the bottom layer of teeth. So I'm going to go with a pool girl next and take the back arm of the pool girl, and we can paint it all the way black to be a nose right here that goes over the moss or on the top of the moss, and the bubble is what we typed in after that. For that stamp, it's going to be basically the eyes, and this is a really good shape, kind of a little bit awkward circle, I guess you could say. Good for the eyes, the white of the eyes right there. And Tim Borelli, another Fifth Cell member. Fifth Cell, of course, is the studio that made, in part, created Scribblenauts Unlimited, and unfortunately have dissolved and laid off much of the staff. So we're probably not looking at a Scribblenauts Unlimited and Unmasked sequel in the future. Looks like it's probably not going to come. But anyway, we've got a ruler right now, and a ruler will be for the top layer of teeth. It's kind of one stamp that can get us many different things, because you can see all the little lines in the ruler. Well, when we put it behind that moss for the top jaw, it looks like a layer of teeth. So that's sweet right there. And we've got a golem shoulder piece that we used before, but this time we're going to use it kind of for the base of the ears, starting kind of where the ears are meeting Springtrap's head. Going to be jumping around a little bit just so I don't forget things, and we've got a dartfish right now. We're going to take that top dorsal fin of the dartfish. It's just sort of a thin layer right there, and it can be a good little eyelid part to our creation. And so I'm going to go with a dolphin and take the fin that's basically in the back, but you can't really see it when you're clicking on it. So you have to just kind of trust that it's there and basically click at the middle bottom part of the dolphin as a whole. So like you can see the dolphin's body right there, kind of click in that bottom middle area just below the body, and you will actually grab this fin. I like this fin better than the other one that's in the front visible, because that one has a little black dot that some Scribblenauts stamps have from characters and stuff. They have it sort of like a brad, you know, where either pieces are connected to a joint or where moving parts are connected, basically. We used a ball for the eyes right there, the iris of the eyes, we should say, you know, the colored part, and then PEA, which of course spells P, we use that for the pupils in the eyes, and a jellyfish. You can take this upper tentacle piece of the jellyfish, it's right near the jellyfish's body. Well, it basically kind of just makes this black line, and we did that several times for the bottom layer of teeth so that there are lines, and you can see that each tooth is sort of individually marked out. After using a cat tail, it looks like we're going to reach the stamp limit when we do two of them, so this will be the reaching the limit once more on the head right here. There certainly are other details we could have if we had more stamp space, but we don't. You could potentially create the ears as a hat object and create them entirely as, you know, then there would be three separate objects to create just one character. But I'm going to go like this, and so to connect the head and the body, you want to go into the scripting tool or the properties editor with the button in the bottom right. On the equipment tab right here, if you see this third circle down on the bottom half of the screen, it says can be worn on the face like glasses. You want to fill that circle in, so just click or tap there. That's going to mostly put the head where you want it to when you give your head object to the body object. So let's go ahead and name it now that we've got the scripting and all that stuff done, and we can move on to our next character. You'll see the head and the body process come a little bit later and how to connect those after we've done this scripting. But Adventure Plushtrap here is going to mostly be the same as our Springtrap design. We took away a lot of the withering and stuff like that, and of course made it a lot smaller, and we're going to remove a few more things after this, but I did just want to show you we took the back arm of a female tooth fairy. You can also grab this in the 29-page library if you're in Scribblenauts Unlimited. On the 22nd page, kind of in the bottom middle, second row from the bottom, you can see that arm there. But that's basically just a tooth fairy. You can take the female tooth fairy again, and so we got rid of that little button there that was in the egg chest piece, and I added a wither spot sort of beneath the arms and stuff, and we can go ahead and move on from there, because I think that looks good for Adventure Plushtrap. And so now you can see we've got Plushtrap's head, but it was basically taken from the Springtrap head that we created, but you can notice, of course, I'm removing a lot of the Springtrap specific looking parts to it. So we did keep on, of course, the ruler, the octopus, the dolphin, the golem, the bubbles, the PEA, and the dartfish, all those kinds of stamp pieces. We're actually going to take the ruler away for now. We may or may not add that on a little bit later, but it's just getting in the way. So I use that same Tooth Fairy arm piece, or you can go in the 29-page library. Once again, 22nd page. That's going to be for the snout, the muzzle right here of Plushtrap. And I've got a mola. You can also type in sunfish to get that. It's a fin that we want to take. So once I've grabbed that fin piece, painted it all black, I'll put it here for the nose. That's just above that arm piece that we have. And if you want to do the teeth this way, you can. I think I'm going to get rid of this, but this is kind of a good stamp that I've used before to get lots of teeth with only one stamp. It was Irish Moss. It's just got that kind of jaggedy lines all throughout. Jaggedy edges, I should say. But we'll go with the ruler again now that I've got all the pieces kind of laid out. I just didn't want that ruler before to be in the way of anything and mess with any of the design. And so I'm going to try a ruler also for the bottom teeth, but I'm not sure if we're... Actually, this looks pretty good. I may keep that. And so then I'm going to go with a rectangle right here. If you're in Scribblenauts Unlimited, you can actually just grab it from the geometry library of shapes. And that rectangle, of course, if you're in Unmasked, you need to type it in, as with any shape. But that rectangle can just be black within the mouth and everything. And so here's what we didn't get to do on Springtrap's ears is add those kind of other layers of color. And so there's the lighter yellow color that is within the top and bottom parts of those ears. And so here you can see that I'm grabbing that arm again. This is just for demonstration. I'm not going to keep this, but if you want to kind of color this arm, that same one that you used for the snout piece of Adventure Plushtrap, you could do it kind of here to connect that kind of back part, but I like this. It looks like we're looking more at Plushtrap from the side, or like a quarter turn view. And so here again on the properties editor, you want to go into the equipment tab for your head object and check off that circle. Can be worn on the face like glasses. So we're doing good. We're almost done here. We just have to now create Spring Bonnie. And so we've got Andrew Warthen. And so this is yet another 5th cell member and everything. These may actually look different in Scribblenauts Unmasked. Some of them do. A lot of them do, actually. And if that's the case, you just want to go with another stamp that has, you could even look in the hero and villain DC library, because that has just hundreds upon hundreds of characters, but you basically just want to get something that looks similar to this. And this Andrew 5th cell member actually will drop a t-shirt or clothing of some kind every time that you spawn him, so that will also happen with your Spring Bonnie, even if you check off the little check that says it inherits the source object's behaviors. It's just part of something that's scripted into the game for this Andrew Warthen character in Scribblenauts Unlimited. I don't know what he does in Unmasked. Golem thigh pieces, we use those for the start of the arms, kind of where the biceps and shoulders are, and also the thighs as well, the upper leg parts. And so I'm going to go with the golem shoulder pieces to be connected to that on the arms. So kind of for the middle, there's like 3 pieces of the arm right there. We got the top, middle, and bottom. And so the bottom, of course, is the sticky hands for the hands. And so we can go with the golem thigh piece once more for the legs, kind of the middle connector of the legs. And so that would be, in essence, where the shins are of the character. And so I went with the ghoul fin once again to get the feet right here. I'm going to use a golf ball, but we're going to need to shrink it down a little bit smaller, probably to the smallest point that it can get, because these are going to be for some buttons here on Spring Bonnie, here on the chest. And we'll do the other ghoul fins now that I know that I have enough stamp space here, because I just put down a bow tie for the bow tie, and we still had stamp space left over, so that was good. So we can put down the other color layer for the bottom of the feet. So that's, again, using the ghoul fish. So the scripts are really kind of basic for these characters, but I am trying to script them as they attack in FNaF World. So for example, the weapon on Spring Bonnie is going to be a quarter note, so that Spring Bonnie is going to shoot out a music note every time that it attacks, and that's like the Cosmic Song attack in FNaF World. And so there, I just like to also script all the characters to whenever they lose or gain some health, i.e. whenever they get attacked, basically. I don't want them to run away from battles, and so that means that they're not going to run away from a fight if I apply an adjective every time that happens, and the adjective just is brave or fearless or any synonym of those. And so now we're going to move on to the head for Spring Bonnie. We are nearly done. This is actually going to be created very similar to my FNaF World original Bonnie. And so I'm going to go with a vegetarian, the female vegetarian's back arm. That's the equivalent, basically, again, of the 29-page library. Grabbing on the 3rd page, there is an arm shape there as well. And so that'll be for the snout right here of Spring Bonnie. And then we can go with a jaw. And the jaw will be be for the bottom jaw piece, because the jaw also has the teeth. So that's going to have the bottom layer of teeth covered as well as the jaw part. And so this is looking pretty good. I'm going to need to do some adjustments and stuff where things are placed as we go along. I'll go with a golem shoulder piece yet again, and we'll paint it all the way white. That's going to be for the big white part of the eyes right here for Spring Bonnie. And so we put it behind that vegetarian arm piece, or a third page of the 29-page library piece right there for the snout. And so I'm going to type in a worm after this and get the worm's body. There's a middle body piece of the worm. I like it because when you paint it black but not all the way black, it does have a little bit of like a layer of shine to it and stuff, so it looks kind of shiny. Good detail for the nose. And so then I went with Pearl and PEA, which of course, as I said before, it spells P, and so the P was actually going to be for the pupils, and the pearl was going to be for the iris in the eyes, so the colored part and then the black part of the eyes. And we've got a whisker, because if you type in eyelash, often things don't come out how you want it to. It usually creates an eye instead, but the whisker will create a nice look for eyelashes here. Same golem shoulder piece yet again to do the ears, kind of in a same, I guess, similar fashion that we did Plushtrap and Springtrap's ears. So we went with the dolphin once again. Remember to grab just underneath that fin that's visible. So you don't want to actually touch the visible fin. You want to see just below the body of the dolphin. So if you put your stylus there, if you're playing on Wii U, that's how to get it there. PC users, of course, click your mouse there. The object editor is not a feature on the 3DS or mobile versions of this game. We can now put the color layers in right now. So of course, copy those golem shoulder parts as well as the stamps for the dolphin fins and just paint them a little bit lighter shade of yellow. And I do have actually some more stamp space, so with that I'm going to go ahead and put down some of these pimples. I did pimple twice, and it's for some shine in the eyes, so just kind of make it in the corner of the eyes, both of them. And then a minus sign we can get for a top layer of teeth, you know, these front teeth that the bunny characters have, you know, in FNaF. And so here's the jellyfish. Once again, we're going to grab that same tentacle piece that creates that black line look to it and just split down that minus sign down the middle so that there are two teeth visible with that. And so that's looking good. So in the scripting again for the head object, one last time I'll remind you, can be worn on the face like glasses. You want to check that in. It's that second circle all the way down from the bottom. So now I'll finally show you how to connect the head and the body piece. You can see that the Springtrap and Plushtrap do have their heads on, but Spring Bonnie doesn't. And so I'll put this head basically into the hands of the body object right there. And you can notice that Spring Bonnie looks really weird. You know, the head wasn't exactly where it should be. This is okay. What we need to do then is just go into the object editor once again for the body of Spring Bonnie. So of course you noticed I went and edited the Spring Bonnie torso object, body object I should say, and we turned on the green grids. It's this button basically that has Maxwell's head, a banana, and some wheels and a dotted line all around that, and that will turn on these green grids once again that show all the moving parts of your character, all the parts where stuff can go. And we just took where the head grid is, you know, it's a big blank empty green square, and so we needed to move it pretty far up for our Spring Bonnie because you could tell that Spring Bonnie's head from before in that last scene, it was way too low. It was like the head was on the chest instead of where the head should be. And so I'm trying to get Plushtrap to fight this evil man right here. There we go. It took a little bit because the evil man was of course trying to fight me, but we got Spring Bonnie kind of watching right now, and this fight is going everywhere. But our Plushtrap is doing a sludge attack. I actually just typed in sludge as Plushtrap's weapon projectile for the scripting and everything, and that's of course to mimic the sludge in FNaF World. So Plushtrap is going to be victorious over this evil man. I mean, I figured it would be. A lot of the default Scribblenauts kind of human characters and stuff, they all have low health, low damage, and all of that. So let's go ahead with, why not, just type in this hostile brave ram. I did brave so it wouldn't run away or anything, but we're going to have it fight Spring Bonnie. Right now it's too close to it. We need to have it back up here so that we can see Spring Bonnie's projectile attack. There we go. I moved it back a little bit, and now Spring Bonnie is shooting out that quarter note to be basically for the, it looks kind of upside down, but that's in essence to be like Cosmic Song. You're not going to get it exactly to look like it. You could also probably do in the scripting, shoot a projectile of like a big yellow star, and then it might have the stars and stuff that go along with that attack. But there is the Springtrap FNaF World version that was highly requested for a long time among my subscribers, but also Plushtrap and Spring Bonnie adventure versions from FNaF World. We got the springs and traps here of the game. So yes, please tell me if you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you're new, catch these episodes every Sunday and sometimes more. I do live streams over on my Twitch channel, which is in the description, twitch.tv/drkendo. I do those every Monday night, and other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and say, okay, catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives as the spectacle begins. Down the road of twists.
So, down on that golden egg from earlier on the chest.
Shit.